All right, guys. So I had this video recommended to me by a couple of viewers. So let's check this out. I love Rose. I love his content about Guild Wars 2. So let's watch this video.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Dude, me too. I've become a YouTuber.
I'm here to apologize to all of you. See, the content that I've been making on this channel has been pretty upsetting and off-putting to particular groups of people out there.
That's what happens when you make videos, dude. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. It is impossible to make anything on the internet without somebody being upset with you, dude. You will post a video to your Instagram of a remodel that you're doing in your home, and there will be 60%, between 40 and 60% of the comments on there will be people telling you that it's ugly and you're a terrible person. You are ruining that home. Go buy a modern home and leave these kinds of homes to those of us who actually want them and can't afford them. That's what you'll get.
And this has been highly insensitive of me. Some of these groups have reached out to me and in the most empathetic and sensitive of ways have told me exactly how they feel.
Bro, there is this part of the Guild Wars 2 community, and most of them stick to the shadows, and most of them don't come out very regularly, but there is this part of the Guild Wars 2
about
community
the things
for sure.
I say online. And to those groups, I'd like you to know that I hear you.
Double middle fingers.
I see you.
Where's the double middle
I'm
finger?
listening. And I'm learning. And in response to you sharing with me the things that you hear online said by a complete stranger in his underwear that you take seriously and leave you emotionally traumatized, I would genuinely like to thank...
Bro, scroll, dude. If you don't like it, scroll. Stop watching things that make you angry. That's a choice that you're making in your life. If there is somebody that you know, why are you going into the comments and saying mean things? You are doing irreparable damage to yourself. You are creating a pattern in your own behavior that will bring you nothing but misery over the time that you are alive. It is not harming me anywhere near as much as it is harming you in order to leave these comments, dude. You have got to understand that you are falling into a trap that the internet is putting onto you, that you are becoming engaged by things that you don't like. And so the internet will only show you things that you don't like, and you will be stuck in a prison that is inescapable for the rest of your existence, and you will never find happiness as long as you continue this pattern, dude. It is so heartbreaking to see that this has become such a culture on the internet of this like crazed, violent, angry, character demotivating just behavior that, oh my gosh, dude. Go do something else. Go cook a meal for yourself, dude. Go find love out there, baby. Go figure out what it is that you want to get from this world and never stop until you get it, dude.
Each and every single one of you for telling me exactly where all your softest spots are.
Yeah, dude.
Because you've given me the courage to get much worse in the future. But that's not really what this...
Bro, that is so true. Oh my gosh. So I come from a world of where me and my friends would all just talk smack to each other all the time. Every time I see a comment like that, every time I see a comment on one of my videos where it's somebody just laying it all out there and how emotionally just unstable they are, the thing that always pops into my head is I read that comment and I go, whew, I could light this fire. We could light this candle, fellas. I could really make this person angry. We could get drama going right now if all I have to say is, shut up, idiot. Boom. Done, bro. They are going to lose it and snap, bro. It would be crazy. I've done this at points in my past before, and I may do it again one day. But, dude, you can so easily light that flame.
Because you see, I've been lying to you. The last you saw of me, I was well on my way to level 80 in a pure, untainted, and innocent experience of good gameplay marred by some pretty shitty storytelling. We just tried out some dungeons, joined up with an incompetent dragon-slaying task force with a lower attention span than a squirrel with a fentanyl problem, and finally gotten the humans of Guild Wars 2 to connect more deeply with the pussy of Guild Wars 2. I told you that the series was all about sticking to the leveling experience.
Killing lots of centaurs.
About taking the main story quest line and going from level 1 to level 80. But here's the problem with that statement. I found the PvP button.
Dude, I know, it's so tempting to me too.
Now, for as long as I can remember, I've had this problem that I just can't seem to escape. It doesn't matter what game I play. It doesn't matter how good or bad I am at it. Hell, it doesn't even matter if I'm winning or losing. I can finally admit
those calves
that I'm a bit of a PvP addict. And the first step to recovery is always admitting that you have a problem. See, the same way an alcoholic can't touch a drink, or a white woman in a first world nation can't own a large male dog, if I so much as smell a button in a game menu telling me that I can PvP, I get lost in the sauce. So come with me as we descend into the salted abyss where women and children can't handle a bit of cheeky Xbox Live banter, and grown men collapse under the weight of their own mental instability and enter the ninth circle of MMO hell.
This is so rad. Dude, show me, show me, show me.
Actually, you know what? This is not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. The pre-PvP zone instantly rebalanced me out to level 80 and gave me access to all the skills and abilities that I haven't earned out in the real game world. So not only can I fight on a level playing field with everyone else regardless of my actual level, but I also get to show everyone on my team what a complete fucking idiot I am by not knowing what buttons I should be pressing. I have unknowingly become God's punishment.
Dude. In World of Warcraft, when I first started PvPing, I would show up. Okay, so my skill set, I might not be the most top tier gamer in the world, but baby, I can make friends. I can get out there and I can make someone like me. So those couple minutes where you're sitting there waiting for the PvP arena match to start and you're with your teammate already and you're just kind of talking a little bit, that dude would be like, dude, we're going to get this, man. This guy rocks. And I'm just over there like, man, you and me, dude, this is what we're here for. We've been training for this our whole lives to get in here. And then I just die 3 seconds into the match and I know that guy just has to be like, oh no. And then we talk a little bit more and then he's like, okay, you want to try again? And then we just keep going and he just keeps losing match after match after match because I'm so good at making him like me while still just ruining his whole night, dude. Oh, it's so fun.
Upon my fellow players and their spotless PvP records, and they don't even know it yet. But first things first, I pick out the shittiest, untested engineer build known to mankind, because following hyper-specific online build guides is only for people incapable of independent thought, and completely neglect whatever the fuck this PvP-specific loadout does, and go get my ass kicked by a training dummy just before being unceremoniously dumped into a match the same way an unwanted fetus would be into a sink in a Texas gas station. With little to no clue of what I'm doing, an announcer with the voice of a retired pirate in a homeless shelter tells me what to do.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs. Oh!
And suddenly, the fog of confusion clears from my eyes. This is just another variant of World of Warcraft's Arathi Basin, with the only differences being that there's little to no coordination happening here. You're always getting caught out alone and gank-banged to death. Somehow, the blue team is always the losing side, and God.
Let's play with Noxie, dude. That's so funny. Yeah, man, I definitely feel that in PvP you have to stick with the group because everything is based in group play, right? If a bunch of people jump on you, a lot of the counter set are going to be in someone else's build because they're bringing specific tools into the match to specifically deal with you. So the teammate that you have is the person that they're not expecting to come out of nowhere. That's the reason that rogue builds are so good in World of Warcraft, because you can, surprise, here I am, baby, and then stun lock them to death.
I just described Arathi Basin perfectly. Having already spent years of my life developing a Pavlov dog-like response, I do exactly what the secret CIA members at Blizzard have programmed me to do, and immediately abandon my team to attempt to 1v5 a collective clusterfuck of the enemy team. Then, in a panic, I realize the error of my ways the moment 90% of my health pool immediately vanished, leaving me with little choice but to run away like a little bitch. Did this strategy help me?
I'm going to go in here so that my teammates don't have to. I'm going to make this easier on them, and then you go, no, I'm surviving, actually. I forgot that I'm the one.
No. Did my opponents grant me a swift and merciful death? Also no. In Graveyard Wars 2, when your
Neo's an anagram of one. Did you guys ever know
health
that?
bar depletes, you don't die. You get knocked into a downed and immobile state, as if you were a League of Legends player who forgot to charge the battery on their mobility scooter. You can't move, and you're given a set of worthless abilities to
Got me.
press while waiting to bleed out. For the engineer, these abilities include throwing rocks at the guy who just beat your ass to death when previously you had a gun, whipping out your rope and getting your opponent to take an up-close look at it, and taking several eternities to duct tape yourself back together, as if your murderer would ever let you do that. But by the will of Allah alone, there's at least one useful ability that the downed engineer gets: a throwable suicide vest. It's just too bad that even that button does a laughable amount of damage. And so that leaves me to die
that's
in
an
a slow,
insane
painful
clip.
way while my killer watches. The same way a National Geographic photographer watches a fly-riddled African child slowly expire and does nothing to further harm or help them. But that's largely okay, because just like any form of MMO PvP death, Guild Wreckage 2 or not, is just about the same as taking a bat flu soup vaccine. Having somewhat learnt my lesson, I revive and remember that a gun is a ranged weapon, and that teammates are disposable meat shields. I'm not supposed to be taking any damage because I'm not supposed to be in range of the primitives surrounding me with sharp metal sticks. And to better immerse myself in the art of American martial arts, I activate Fortnite mode and use the action camera instead of relying on the tab targeting one. Is this going to help me win this match? Probably not, because the objective here is to stand in the big glowing circle over there, and that's exactly what none of my teammates are doing. The other reason I know we won't be winning this match is because I was dumb enough to kit myself out with grenades. And
Bro, I can't even keep track of what the quest objective is in this game. The combat is so good and so appealing to my brain that if there are waves of ever spawning enemies that just continuously come nonstop while there's an objective 60 feet over there, I will not look at my map and I will not look at what my quest objectives are up in the top right hand corner, because I am so unbelievably focused on killing the enemy, dude. There's no better feeling than that.
I keep throwing each and every single one of them exactly where everyone isn't. Maybe at this point I should just be grateful that Grenade Wars 2 doesn't have friendly fire. So instead, I default to using my ultimate ability, which amounts to my character smoking enough crack to believe he's actually turning into a tornado and shooting lightning at people before running away like the world's bravest soldier whenever I have less than 50% HP. I do die a few more times, but every now and then, when surrounded by the other players of my team, I at least get to pretend that I assisted in killing some people. And before I know it, the match ends. We lose and a stat screen pops up letting me know exactly how useless I was to my team. But hey, believe it or not, I actually ended up having more fun than I expected to in this open-air non-consent dungeon. That first match didn't exactly go great,
wait to
but
do some
what did
PvP.
you expect? I'm
That's
a
next,
completely
I
new
guess.
player. Of course I was going to screw it up. I'm sure after a little bit of practice, things will get a lot better.
Dude.
Things did not, in fact, get a lot better. It turns out that as fun as a masochist like me finds Gun Wars 2 PvP, it has a few issues. It's not the game modes, those are fine. It's not the gameplay, that's still great. It's the players, and there's just no way to really fix that problem. I'm not even sure it should be fixed. This is another one of those issues that's not really unique to Guild Wars 2 and probably exists across most other MMORPGs. The PvP is not so much based around your particular skill set, so much as it is around your game knowledge. What that means is that if you want to get good at Guild Wars 2 PvP, you better sign up to Hustlers University and sell your ass and your soul online to afford a few unpaid years of attaining forbidden knowledge and abandon PvP meta before trying to even catch up to the demonic entities that inhabit the space. I'm getting my ass beat most of the time because these
People are terrified of this. People are terrified of dipping under the water and seeing how deep the iceberg goes. I am a huge fan of it. It can be tiring. It can be exhausting. It can be a thing that I have to take breaks from, but there is no reason for me to live if not to see where the depths of hell start and where my own resilience ends, truthfully. And baby, it feels so good when you start to see it, when you start to see the code, when you start to believe beyond seeing the code, when you feel the code, when you don't have to think about it anymore, when all these things become part of who you are to the point that your friends look at you and you feel like you're speaking English and they think that you have been possessed by something otherworldly that is taking their friend away and putting them into this dark corner of their mom's basement where nothing matters except for getting those sweet, sweet dubs, dude. That is what I I absolutely love that. And this is my thing, right? I've talked about this a bunch of times. I believe that you have to go at your own pace. You have to figure things out for yourself. You have to have the experience of the game, going through and just absorbing as much as you can like a sponge, and studying it like it's a test is so difficult for a lot of people to do. But the further you go, the deeper you play, the more games that you experience, the more you start to understand that you are actually capable of these things, and the more you start to see the writing on the walls. It gets to the point with a game like Guild Wars 2 to where, you get in and you see all these complicated structures, but you have other things to compare them to, and they're not the same, and though they have a lot of other things going on, you start to be able to put the pieces together quicker than you've ever put the pieces together before, and you ascend, dude. You ascend so much faster, and taking your time, moving really slowly, moving overly slowly for no purpose whatsoever is such a silly thing to do in a video game, especially if you're ready to move forward with it. And Rose, dude, good job for you, dude.
PvPers have been at it for years against each other, and I'm just starting out. They outrank me in every qualitative
100%.
sense imaginable. And since I'm not going to be fusing my skin
Take
to the
years.
cheap leather of my gaming chair anytime soon, I'm likely never going to be catching up to them. If you're having trouble understanding me because you main a DPS,
I had someone say this the other day where they said, you don't have to play for as long as these other people. You might just have innate skill in this game that takes you there. I know that you think that. I know that you think that you can catch up to all these people who've been playing this game for decades. No matter how talented you are at this game, there is someone equally as talented as you that has been playing for longer than you. Guaranteed. You are nothing special. You are just another human being in this existence, and you're a bunch of rolls of the dice that have come together to be the person that you are, and those rolls of the dice are replicable, but there are people who have gotten here before you, and that's why I always say that when you're stepping into someone else's house, you have to have reverence for what they've been able to do. If you can't build the house that they have built yet, don't act like their house is your house now that they've let you in the front door. Don't do that. Have respect for it.
or worse, you have the mental capacity of an IRL streamer in Japan, then think of it this way. Game knowledge outstrips everything else in Grape Wars 2 PvP. If you know what abilities and builds other people are most likely packing, you're likely to know what fights you can win and which to avoid. If you've got your timings right or have a bursty build that hits like an NFL player hits their wife, you're probably gonna win. And why?
He hit that woman with all his strength, dude. Bro, it's so terrible. It's so terrible that that's a video that we've all seen.
Why shouldn't you? Of course, someone who's dedicated that much time to this aspect of the game
Horrible.
is going to curb stomp my teeth into the pavement each and every single time. I can't even be that
Rose
mad about
rocks.
it. But what I can
Like, I hate it. I hate it so much because I can feel the parasocial relationship developing already with Rose, right? Like, I can't stand that statement of, I feel like we would be best friends. Maybe, but like probably not. But Rose seems like Rose gets it, Rose understands.
at least be confused about is what the fuck is this non-specific red-vested live streamer allegedly doing in the children's playpen? Why am I, a
Dude,
relatively
it'll come for you, bro. I made a video about Doc Disrespect one time just because I was really interested and I had a lot of thoughts about it. And man, they came
You
for
an
me.
inexperienced
People just I'm not gonna talk about it.
player
Let's get
being
away from it.
matched up against these monstrosities who eat undercooked chicken tendies and shit out PvP kills. I mean, where the fuck is the matchmaking system in this game that's supposed to ease the PvP dick into me as opposed to just jumping to high-speed fisting? Of all things, why would they... Ah, I get it now.
Okay, hold on, let me look at this. Everybody, straight bottom, 0 to 500 hours playtime. Okay. This is okay.
What was left of your sandwich?
Huh?
What was left of your Arby's sandwich?
Nothing.
Okay. She got into it.
Okay, there was nothing there.
Okay. I had suspicions. She came upstairs and did a crazy happy dance.
You can just leave the door cracked if you want. I'm filming a video. Back to it.
It's because the PvP population of Guild Whipping 2 is such a tiny fraction of the total population count that I'm just getting ass blasted over and over again by the same dudes like I'm a fatherless girl in her early 20s who just left for college. Does this make the PvP of Guild Wars 2 bad? No, not really. But it does fuck up anyone new's ability to improve gradually over time to any significant degree. Because the PvP learning curve isn't
Yeah.
steep, it's a fucking in cliff
line.
face,
Yeah.
but it has acted as a decent bridge of what I can expect ability-wise when I do finally hit level 80. My newfound suffering has given me newfound motivation to get back to the story and open world where my character isn't being shit inside of like they're an Instagram model on a Shake-funded trip to Dubai.
Yeah, dude, doing something extremely difficult will always bring you back around to feeling better about what it is that you're doing in a much less difficult situation. This is the beauty of RuneScape in general. One of the best things about that game is that the further that you get into it, the better the early game feels. You will play RuneScape and you will think, man, this game's kind of slow, and you'll be level, 20 woodcutting, let's say. And then you'll play for another 1,000 hours and you'll get 20 woodcutting and you'll be like, the dopamine is insane right now.
This is not a place for the mentally stable or new players to have fun. This is a place to use and exploit. A place to avoid the leveling story that's been mediocre at best thus far.
Yeah.
Look, I want to carry on. I want to keep PvPing, but I think I got to stop here before I fuck up my entire life and the rest of my leveling series. And now is about the time for me to really apologize to you because I lied again. I didn't just find the PvP button. I found all the other ways I could potentially boost my character to level 80. But I'm not going to use any of them, because they all basically amount to the same thing of skipping the base game in order to reach max level as fast as possible. And I'd be lying to you again if I didn't say
skipping the base game is such an odd thing because there are so many people who are very far along and haven't done all of the world completion. I have a really difficult time thinking of the base game as being 100% completion because I've never thought of a video game as being 100% completion. That's how it's done. I think of that as being a step beyond the whole thing. If you do all of the personal story, if you do the dungeon stories, if you do the living world, if you do some exploration, do some quests and things, gear up naturally, do all those things, craft your stuff. I think that getting to level 80 and then moving on to the next set of worlds to have the new mechanics to keep it all fresh, you have plenty of time to do completion of everything,
that it feels intentional. It's like the game itself knows how lackluster the leveling experience is and wants desperately for you to avoid running your way through it beyond maybe an initial playthrough.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, it's time I came completely clean with you. I've been leveling a second set of characters over on a second account just so I can double check all the information that I put into these videos. And I gotta tell you that aside from some of the personal character stories that you chose during the character creator that evaporate almost entirely after level 40, when you end up running your way through the base game leveling experience more than twice without power leveling your character, most of the story and character interactions that you get to see go from being mildly underwhelming to excruciatingly bland. And I'm saying this as someone who has sunken thousands of hours of their life into both MMOs and single-player RPG games. And that's having played most of them more than once and leveled multiple characters the non-boosty way. So I have a suggestion for the Guild Wars 2 devs who have absolutely no reason to listen to me. Your game is filled with variety, filled with options and choices to make, but your base game leveling experience only has 3. Suffer through something mostly unmemorable, at least up to my current.
I hate that in my brain what I literally just thought whenever he was saying this was make it possible to level through any expansion. Don't do that. That's what World of Warcraft did and it's terrible. Don't do that.
Pay to boost or become a power shitter and skip the entire experience with an overtuned XP system. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. This isn't the toilet paper aisle at Walmart, where your only options are sandpaper, 2-ply, or getting in touch with your inner self. You didn't have to pick just one. You could have had a more memorable leveling experience that acts more than just an extended game tutorial, and also have all these power leveling systems that you currently have. And this might come as a little bit of a shock, but if you build a great leveling experience into your base game, people might actually want to go back.
He has a whole room in his house that's a green screen. This is insanity. I love this dude so much, man. He's so powerful. How does Rose only have 19.3k subs? He should have at least like 250k.
Back and experience that. Maybe not just once or twice, but a few times. And as an added bonus, it might actually give new players more incentive to want to reach the end game of Guild Wumbo 2 and be able to experience all the things that I keep continuously being told about in the expansions.
Yeah.
Look, Guild Wars 2, I get it. You're old, you're busted up, you're tired. There's talks of Guild Wars 3 coming out soon. Most of your longtime buddies are bald or dying of middle age, but you have to know that you...
It's an interesting thing because there's a whole bunch of people in this world, and by the world I mean Guild Wars 2 world, that want to say things. There's this weird feeling that you get from people, right? So whenever you talk to people one-on-one and you have a conversation with them about the experience of the game, a lot of them go, you know what, feel free, man, boost some characters, grind some extra characters up, do all those things. And then there's other people who you say that to, and they're like, never boost a character. It's cheating. And they're so angry at you. Here's the thing. You have to learn how to play every single character. You'll be unable to go on into the game if you don't learn the character. I'm not going to get any better by playing this same content over and over and over again. I'm not. I'm going to get better by putting myself in the new challenge constantly and having to use the mechanics to my advantage to actually get through it. Having to learn. If I don't have a reason to, I'll just press the 1 key, bro. I'll just summon the minions. I'll just put the AoEs down. I won't pay attention to combo fields and it's because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at those levels. So going through the base game, I'll do it again. I plan on leveling a thief all the way through the base game, but I just think that the reaction that some people have of you can't do that is bizarre to me. I don't believe that another 30, 40 hours of leveling another character is going to be the thing that makes me really good at this game. I think it's the thousands of hours that I'm going to put into it over the next couple of years.
Got something that most MMOs your age just don't have. You're alive somehow. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you just fixed up your base game experience to the same level that you have your later expansions at that I keep on hearing about from the player base, well then maybe you'd even stand a chance at retaining some of the normies that try your game out for the first time even now in 2024. And that stuff's stronger than I remember it being. But I think that's about enough with all the apologies and pretending that I'm actually sorry for being right about everything. We've had our little PvP detour now. We've suffered our way through my addiction. And it's just about time that we get straight back to leveling.
Dude, I'm so excited. I'm at level 70 now. I'm getting so close. Good for you, Rose. Good for you,
As
man.
always, big thank to my subscribers.
All right, guys, if you're not subscribed to Rose already, you definitely should subscribe to Rose. He's absolutely legendary, and you should also like this video. Let's watch this
Both
outro.
old and new. And a special thank to the Gankbank PvP carry squad who keep me alive and going in this absolutely dog shit MMORPG that we call real life. Your contributions are always appreciated. And so
the carry squad that I get in Guild Wars 2. You guys are legends, man. Thank you everybody who comes around and helps me out.
Assholes throwing money at me like I'm a 2-bit hooker. Anyway, more content soon. Bye.
That video was sick. Rose is absolutely sick. This game is really good, dude. I'm having such a good time in it. Like, it's the thing, man, is it's so odd. Sometimes there's a group of people out there that you just don't know what they want. And the truth is there's nothing that you can give them for what they want. The people who I think get it the most are the ones who come through and they're just like, man, it's so cool to see like a person come to this game for the first time. And that's all I'm doing. I'm experiencing the community. I'm learning about all these people. I'm learning about Rose and Loranity and Noxie and Muckluck and Teapot and Wood and Potatoes. I'm learning about all these creators over time and understanding what the community's like and what the segments of it are and what the game feels like to be in. You know, I'm a feel gamer. At the end of the day, I want to get my hands on the thing. I want to touch it and feel it and see what it's like to press down the keys and see what it's like to be in a big battle and do all these things. It's such a good time to experience something new from the ground up and to have all the different people who come around and sort of meet them and talk to them and learn what everyone's feelings are and get this sort of sense of the, you know, not only the community, but it's like I have an ever-going poll whenever I have chat running. You know, I can ask them any question about the game and you'll get a bunch of different answers and you can sort of feel statistically what the sense of the room is. And you do that enough times with enough groups of people that you eventually start to really feel what the game actually is like. And then you can really get into that mindset of being the AI that is programmed by all the text that's been put into you. And I love that, dude. It's such a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rose is awesome. Subscribe and like his video. And also, I'll see you guys next time. Be safe out there. Bye.